Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Persick.
Here.
Alderman Kirby Hall. Alderman Van Dyne.
Here.
Alderman Evans.
Here.
Alderman Kerwin.
Here.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Here.
Alderman Tudor. Here. Alderman Studer.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Yep. Council, we need, got approval of the minutes for January 20th, 2015 before you.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from January 20th as presented and have them placed on file.
Motion by Alderman Tudor, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Studer, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Pass.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Evans.
Yes.
You have 6 yes, 1 pass, 1 absent. Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, mayor's report. The first item on the agenda, as everybody knows, for several years now, I guess for the past 3 or 4 years, I've always taken the time out to make sure that we recognize people that have made a significant impact within our community every year. We started with Paula Ekstrom, who helped with the coalition, and last year we even had the VFW Honor Guard as my volunteers of the year. This year's volunteers are no exception, and believe it or not, when I read some of the stuff they've done, you almost look at it as more of a lifetime achievement award than just volunteer award. But this year's volunteers was Phyllis and Wayne Milton. As you know, with one you get the other, and I'll tell you that. And I had the privilege of working with them for several years, and it's a complete honor to be able to announce them this year as our volunteers of the year. But what I wanted to do is kind of briefly state what they've accomplished over their years, and then I'll bring them up there to present them in our report. But Phyllis was raised in Chicago, and she attended the prestigious Jones High School, which focuses on students in vocational and accounting and secretary skills and bookkeeping. And I'll tell you what, bookkeeping is her forte. She moved to Wilmington, where she married Wayne, and she was hired at Joliet Arsenal as a timekeeper. And during not only raising her 4 daughters, she did a lifelong time skills and volunteering skills for the community organizations. Phyllis served in just about every committee in the Methodist Church, including 40 years singing in the choir and, of course, keeping the books for the Women's Club. She served as bookkeeper for the Wilmington Historical Society for 7 years and 57 years for the Garden Club, and 17 years for the Catfish Days Committee. And I'll tell you what, running Catfish Days with the books, she knew how to keep those books. If there was a penny missing, I think she spent one time probably 8 or 9 hours just trying to find where that penny was. But on top of it all, she was also an election judge for 43 years. And Wayne, who's been his lifelong partner, has been also a longtime farmer and also worked with Joliet Arsenal. He served on the park board for 8 years, also volunteering his time for community events and everything else. And going back to even when I first moved into town, we'd go down to the 4th of July fireworks. There was Wayne and Phyllis selling tickets for the beer garden. And they continued to do that for Catfish Days. He served 12 years on the Will County Farm Bureau, working at all their events. And his favorite was, besides working for the Will County Fair, was our program called The Ag in the Classroom. He enjoyed teaching school children the importance of farming and how it affected their lives. Wayne also volunteered his time 10 years on the Wilmington Oakwood Cemetery Board, and of course he was also been with us for 17 years on the Catfish Days Committee. So at this time I'd like to bring Wayne and Phyllis up and present them with their Volunteer of the Year Award.
When the kids showed up, I knew there was something.
Congratulations.
This is the 2014 Volunteer of the Year presented to Wayne and Phyllis Milton for dedicating your time and energy in volunteer service, your selfless commitment in making the city of Wilmington a better place is sincerely appreciated.
Wayne knows where he's got to stand.
Hey, you guys can't leave yet. Put this back in here. Also, guys, got you 2 lapel pins, 1 for each of you. All right. City of Wilmington. Also, here's $100 in the chamber gift certificate box.
Oh my goodness.
Do whatever you want. This is for Well,
I get out of cooking.
but you guys know, being on the Catfish Days Committee, there's one more responsibility that comes July 26th of this year, and that's where you guys get to be Grand Marshals of the Wilmington Catfish.
Attaboy, Wayne.
There's one thing I'd like to add, Marty.
Yes.
In the 20 years that Wayne worked for the city, I'm going to take a little credit for that because I fielded a lot of telephone calls. And also, a number of years back, I can't tell you if it was the 4th or the 5th year, they had a goose marooned in the river on an ice floe. He doesn't swim, but he got the goose floe. I got a picture of it.
I think,
It's in our
and,
local paper.
one thing I did forget is Wayne was probably the last person that walked the entire city doing water
Water
meters.
meters.
We could go on and on, these are just awesome. Wayne, Phyllis, family, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
All right. Just a couple other things on the mayor's report. The Will County Connect, you guys might have got that, is Will County's initiative to update its current long-range transportation plan. They are looking for inputs in regards to their long-range initiative. So if you go on the website, it's www.willconnect2040.org. It's a very good website, it's a quick survey. Can I help you with the, put our input into their long-range plans? As you know, everything's been going on with the transportation and the intermodals and everything else. So they're looking for input on that.
Is the city going to have an official response?
We'll probably work on something. So I'm trying to kind of find out who's kind of heading this up and see where it's kind of really to direct it, and if they're going to look for specific responses from municipalities outside their the Facebook page and the surveys and stuff like that. So we'll find that stuff out. One other thing I'd like to also make mention is, as we know, we had a significant snowstorm this weekend, not above the norm, but for this where we live, but we did have quite a bit of snow, and I want to make sure that kudos to all their public works guys and the plowing of the streets, and ESDA was out, I believe, Sunday morning. We had down power lines on West Kankakee River Drive. They were out there. All our first responders were out there doing a significant job in trying to keep the roads plowed. Just a couple things. As we go through winter times, we do have issues that come up. And I hear them all. I hear a lot of them, I should say. I think sometimes people tend to forget what really, when we plow those roads, is really the primary purpose of plowing those roads is to ensure that our first responders and can get to any emergency as quickly as possible. So it does take time for us to get out there and clear out the roads. They're looking to initially they're looking at primary roads, secondary roads to make sure that they get those roads cleared, so our emergency responders can go to any emergency that's necessary. And then they'll work down from there from parking lots, alleyways, and stuff like that in the second and third day. But also on top of that, we know that there's a lot of people out there that individually plow. They plow driveways and stuff like that, and we ask them to keep in mind that when they do plow, a lot of them, they push the snow across the street, and to make sure that they push all that snow across the street. Don't leave a lot of that snow, leave mounds on in the center of the roadway, because that not only impacts the safety of the residents, but also poses serious risks to our first responders if they're going to emergencies. So we ask that they do that. And then we'll look into that as far as if there needs to be any type of enforcement regarding that stuff in future committee meetings. So that's all I have for mayor's report. Citizens' comments. Do you have any citizens' comments? Ron, go ahead, sir.
Ron Penzek. First of all, I'd like to thank the chief and the city for following up on getting some of the vertical handicap signs up in parking spaces. But when are we gonna go after the businesses to do their part? Especially in weather like this, people with handicap parking, you can't see it. And even when it rains, you cannot see it. And the law calls for vertical handicap marked signs.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to find out is the level enforcement, is that through the state or is that?
Yeah, we do know the state is visiting some of our businesses from the inquiries. So the LA Attorney General's office is actually starting to respond to some citizens' complaints about it, because we got notified in regards to the building permits and everything like that. So when do they renovate or do any of their buildings? So we know the state is
So
starting.
what about the buildings that are done now that aren't being renovated in, you know, Winchester Green, for example, Angelo's, for example? I mean, I could probably go on, and I'm sure other people can too.
The state enforces the handicap laws, not us. So they're the ones that have to go and, cite them if they're not posted correctly. We don't control, under the law, the handicap accessibility law is done through Springfield, not under local control. So you contact, I get your number, you contact Springfield and register a complaint that a business doesn't have the signs up.
I think the chief's got something.
I did talk to the Attorney General already, they have been out once already, they promised to come back again. We do the enforcement on the actual signs that are up, but they know there's some issues with businesses. I talked at the Chamber of Commerce and gave all information to the businesses of what they have to do, so they've been given the information, and if they don't have it up, they'll get visited from the Attorney General's office.
Do they have a certain timeline?
They haven't given me a timeline yet, because of course they do the entire state, and it's not a real large office, but they do know the problem. They were here for 2 businesses that we took care of and said we will be back.
Thank you.
Right, minds think alike. I also want to thank the city for the excellent job they did on Sunday, and for the police department and officers on duty, and ESDA and Alderman Tudor that sent out information about the roads. And I have friends that work on Fox 32, and I sent them the information. They were able to get on TV and say, Wilmington, this street's closed, or that they're having these issues, and they appreciate the information also. So thank you, Flynn, and thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Sheriff. All right, any other citizens' comments tonight? All right. All right, moving on. Planning and Zoning Commission, their scheduled meeting is Thursday, February 5th at 6 o'clock. Any reports, building grounds, parks, health and safety, Alderman Persick, Alderman Van Dyne.
Mr. Mayor, the next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, February 11, 2015, at 6:30 p.m.
To Water, Sewer, Streets, and Alleys Committee, Alderman Studer, Alderman Kerwin.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve pay request number 2, final, payable to deconstruction in the amount of $8,340 for the Safe Route to Schools project as recommended by the city engineer.
Motion by Alderman Kerwin, do we have a second? Second. Second by Alderman Van Dyne, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, motion passes.
Thank you.
The next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, February 11, 2015 at 5:30 p.m.
Police and ESDA, Alderman Studer, Alderman Tudor.
Mr. Mayor, next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, February 10th, 2015, at 5:30 p.m.
To Finance Administration and Land Act, Alderman Studer, Alderman Tudor.
I move to approve the accounts payable report dated February 3rd, 2015, in the amount of $330,955.88.
Motion by Alderman Tudor, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Evans, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, motion passes.
I move to approve ordinance number 15-02-03-01, an ordinance authorizing the city of Wilmington to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program.
A motion by Alderman Tudor, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Studer, any discussion?
Can,
Explain?
yes, please.
I believe this is in relation to the water main project on Route 53 between First Street and West River Road.
Correct.
Yeah,
We just need that ordinance
we-
to basically authorize us to. do
Okay.
that.
Remember, we opened the bids and we finally got the exact amount. And when we did the first ordinance, we thought it was gonna be about $400,000 with bids and the extra work that was being recommended by the engineers. Now that is up to almost 600,000. So we just had to redo an ordinance for the loan application.
Any further discussion?
So we're trying to get more money, borrow more money to do this project.
Yes.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Persick,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
No.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Evans.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, 1 absent, motion passes.
Next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, February 17th at 6 PM.
Ordinance and license, Alderman Evans.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this scheduled meeting is Tuesday, February 10th, 2015, at 6:00 p.m.
Personnel and collective bargaining, Alderman Hall, Alderman Persick.
We have nothing at this time, but we will have executive session.
City Administrator's report, Mr. Graff.
No report.
Attorney's report, Mr. Urban.
Thank you. Still working on service on the owner of the Marathon Station. And I've also been working on a couple of ordinances that should come to the Ordinance and Licensing Committee in the near future. One is a traffic compliance ordinance and the other is a fog ordinance. Fog ordinance is actually, fog is short for fats, oil, and grease. It involves greases in the city's water reclamation system. So they call it fog, fats, oil, and grease. So that's the extent of my report. Thank you.
All right, I need a motion to go to executive session.
Yes, Mayor, I move to go into executive session at 7:17 to discuss pending litigation.
Motion by Alderman Persick, do I have a second? Second by Alderman Hall, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Persick,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Studer. 7 yes, 1 absent, motion passes.
Come out of executive session.
Mayor, move to close the executive session at 7:31.
Motion by Alderman Persick, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Kerwin, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Persick,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Studer. 7 yes, 1 absent, motion passes.
Mayor, at this time, there was no action taken.
All right, our next regularly scheduled meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 17th, 2015. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Favor?
Second.